have all read accounts of people seeing Bigfoot, watched the shows with Bigfoot hunters chasing through the forest, banging on trees and listening for rocks, and of course stared at videos and photos of blurry blobs in the woods, trying to decide if they're a Bigfoot or just a humanoid-shaped stump. But the unresolved question is, what exactly is Bigfoot? We're pretty sure it exists, but we're not sure exactly what it is. This is Cliff of paranormal.com, and in this video we will explore the top theories as to what Bigfoot might actually be. The problem with talking about what Bigfoot is that there are a variety of theories, each with its own merits and drawbacks. We shall start with what I have dubbed theory number 0, that Bigfoot is a pure myth. Of course, the easiest answer to what Bigfoot is that Bigfoot just isn't real. Bigfoot's a myth, a creation of overactive imaginations. Melville Jacobs, a University of Washington anthropologist, has argued that, quote, a Sasquatch is entirely a white man's myth deriving from the Europeans' greater anxiety about father figures. Seems a bit far-fetched, but it is one theory. I've labeled this as Theory 0 because it ignores thousands of eyewitnesses, physical evidence, and historical documentation. Nevertheless, it is one theory that some people use to explain what Bigfoot might be. Moving on to theory number 1, that Bigfoot is simply a giant ape. Scientists that want to play it safe but still acknowledge that there is some giant furry biped roaming our wild places will drop back to the possibility that Bigfoot is nothing more than a modern incarnation of the giant ape Gigantopithecus. There is ample evidence that giant apes did roam Asia at one time, but there is no fossil evidence that they have ever been in the Americas. In all fairness, we also don't have any fossil record for Bigfoot. It is possible, though, that giant apes did come across the Bering Land Bridge and have become what people are now calling Bigfoot. The problem for me is that Bigfoot seems to exhibit behavior that is a bit more advanced than that what we would expect from a mere ape. Theory number 2 is that Bigfoot is some type of spirit. Stories abound with Bigfoot vanishing into the woods seemingly in front of people's eyes. There are also tales of people unloading firearms directly into Bigfoot, sure that they have hit it, and having it completely ignore them or else vanish in a flash of light. If Bigfoot is a physical creature, then evaporating is simply not an option. But we have stories of people following Bigfoot tracks, but then they just stop in the middle of a snowfield. There are many odd tales that are associated with Bigfoot that could easily be explained if they aren't physical beings. Old tales from before the wild places were tamed all have stories of wild men and other spirits of the forest. Presumably they are talking about Bigfoot. But possibly, is Bigfoot more than a physical creature and actually an elemental entity, there to protect the wild spaces? The best evidence that Bigfoot is not a corporeal creature are the accounts of it vanishing when shot. On July 15, 2016, in an episode of Coast to Coast AM, a witness claimed to have been hunting on the Arizona-Mexican border near a town called Gallup when he had a run-in with a Bigfoot. He claims that after the creature threw a sizable rock at him, he shot at it with his rifle, and he is sure that he hit it. However, instead of falling, the creature walked off and simply vanished. While there were footprints, there were no blood or evidence of where the creature had gone. It had simply slipped away into the ether. So is Bigfoot simply a creature of ephemeral nature? Theory number 3. Bigfoot is some sort of an alien. One of the more interesting ideas to answer the question as to what Bigfoot is that Bigfoots are actually aliens. In many cases, there are UFO sightings in conjunction with Bigfoot sightings. There are even accounts of Bigfoots going into UFOs. This could explain some of the more fantastic powers that Bigfoot seems to have. In August 1976 in Rutland, British Columbia, several men and their children saw a hairy ape-like entity, 6 to 7 feet tall, roaming about a mountainside after a series of UFO sightings. A large hair sample was submitted to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police for identification, but analysis, of course, confirmed that it was primate hair, but did not match any known species. Now, it could be that Bigfoot are just as interested in UFOs as we are, and confused by them, or it could be that Bigfoot are some type of alien or actually an alien experiment left here to wander the planet. The last main theory as to what Bigfoot might be is that Bigfoot is some variation on the human lineage. Our rise from the apes was not a straight arrow, and there are many variations that have risen and died out. We happen to have become the dominant variation, but what if a different lineage found a niche deep in the woods, living in places that we didn't want to be? After an extensive DNA study undertaken by Melba Ketchum, she issued the following statement, quote, "A team of scientists can verify that their 5-year-long DNA study, currently under peer review, confirms the existence of a novel hominin hybrid species commonly called Bigfoot or Sasquatch living in North America." The researchers' extensive DNA sequencing suggests the legendary Sasquatch is a human relative that arose approximately 15,000 years ago. This would explain why many of the DNA tests come back with some sort of human component. Oftentimes that is written off as to contamination of the sample. But what if Bigfoot actually is some form of second cousin to humans? These 4 theories cover most of the explanations for what Bigfoot might be. This all being said, I think the only conclusion we can come to on the question of what Bigfoot is that there is no hard and fast answers. Too many pieces not only don't fit together, but actually conflict. It is unlikely that Bigfoot are actually space aliens, but at the same time engage in present exchanges with people that have habituated with them. Most likely, you accept that Bigfoot exists. How, though, do we decide on its nature with no hard facts? Obviously, we can't. We have to speculate from the anecdotal evidence that we can glean from witnesses. So, until such time as a Bigfoot is captured, we are left pondering and playing with conjecture as to what the nature of Bigfoot might be. If you would like to read more about Bigfoot, be sure to visit paranormal.com for more Bigfoot stories as well as UFOs, aliens, ghosts, shadow men, and all sorts of things that go bump in the night. We do appreciate it if you hit like on this video, and of course do hit subscribe so that you get alerts when our next videos come out. Until next time, this is Cliff of Pararational.com, and I thank you for listening.